Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are live here. It's a Monday night. We are with the ECW original, the War Machine Rhyno. Rhyno, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
How are we doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. I didn't know if you were talking to me or Big Dan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing great. Actually, love being on the show, and as far as autographs and giving the fans an opportunity, I don't get over to England that much. I don't even get overseas that much anymore. So, and whenever I was overseas, I never really did autograph signings. So, the only time I ever meet anybody from overseas for autographs is usually WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well,
I've maybe been over there a handful of times in the last several years. So,
when was your last trip to the UK?
I want to say I had a one-off last February, maybe. I don't know exactly what town. It was a smaller town.
Was it one PW?
What's that?
Was it one PW?
Yep. And then there was just a small meet and greet that we did, and then the time before that it was WWE. So probably 2019.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there was no autograph signings there. No meet and greets or anything like that. So that I was involved in.
Did you ever come over here with ECW?
No, actually, I don't think ECW ever went over there, to be honest with you. The original ECW.
Yeah.
So now I don't know if WWE ever went over there with ECW, but it would have made sense, because England's a great market for wrestling. So a lot of great local wrestlers too. A lot of great British wrestlers. So
there is. There's a lot. There's a lot of new guys.
In the history of wrestling over there, it's sad if you're a wrestling fan and you don't look it up. It's you're missing out on a lot. So a lot of great history,
especially in the World of Sport days, like the Johnny Saints, Marty Jones and guys like that.
Yeah. And Tony St. Clair, I've wrestled him several times, and oh my God, if you could not learn from him, you might as well quit the business. So yeah, I learned a lot from Tony.
Well, was that in Germany or was that over?
Yeah, that was for Otto Vaughn's Catch Wrestling Association. So
yeah, I remember.
Dave Taylor. I never. Dave was already in the States wrestling for WCW, and then I never ran into Dave Taylor until WWE. I think this was 2001, and him and Spike Dudley, talk about an odd couple. They traveled and they got along. I mean, they were like two peas in a pod. And I would have never thought in a million years those guys would become traveling buddies and best friends, it seemed like. So, So
I would have never pictured Dave Taylor with Spike Dudley.
Yeah. And they were great traveling buddies too.
That's madness. Who was your obscure travel buddy? Did you have any?
Oh, geez. Well, Heath Slater, after we started tagging. And then Edge and Christian when I first went there, and Kurt would jump in. Kurt Angle would jump in with us. In ECW, I would travel with Sabu and Pee Wee, the referee, and then I would jump in with Little Guido every once in a while, and then when Sabu left, I would travel with Guido, and then went to WWE. And then when I came back after neck surgery, Edge was out, and then Christian was on a different show, and then I would travel with Guido because we were on SmackDown.
Right.
And that was he was Nunzio there, so that was a lot of fun.
The FBI, wasn't it?
Yeah. So. And then I do a lot of traveling by myself. you know.
Okay.
But it just because I do a lot of independence with Impact. I'm with Impact Wrestling,
Yeah.
so I do a lot of independence, and it just works out that way. But whenever I go in for Impact, usually Heath will jump in with me, going to and from the building. I produce now too, so I have to be in the production meetings.
Oh,
So
that's
kind of
cool.
like a player coach. So I leave early. So sometimes Heath will just catch a ride back to the hotel with me, but he don't go to the building unless he has to go. He's not going early. So,
Do you enjoy the producing side of wrestling?
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just let the wrestlers go, and I give them if there's certain things, but I just let them do what they want and tell me, and if they get stuck, I'll try to help them out. But I think the worst thing you could do is get in the people that produced or agent my matches, when they would try to be hands-on, um, it was more harmful to the product unless you were real young and just kind of thrown into the mix. Because sometimes you're giving them advice that really doesn't work with them or their style, and they're supposed to learn their style and all that. So I kind of let them do what they think they should do, and if there's something they shouldn't be doing, I let them know. But for the most part, I don't want to stifle their creativity.
No.
So,
Do you think that's a lost art sometimes when people are being told kind of what to do?
right.
Obviously on the indies, you don't get agents as much or producers, whereas in obviously with Impact, WWE, people are telling you what to do in parts of match. Do you think that's
Right.
a lost art sometimes?
I think you just you hurt them more than you help them. So
yeah, that's fair enough. We're going to jump straight into the signing bit if we can do, sir.
okay.
We're going to start with picture number 1, which is yourself with the ECW title.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. So that's the one. And these are going to be in silver Sharpie, I believe, for the ball. So the first one is to Jess. That's Jess.
To
Jess.
Jess.
And she would like follow your dreams.
Okay.
Rhyno.
I got to make sure this pen is working.
That's fine.
Jess.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then what was that?
Follow your dreams, and then your autograph, please.
There you go, Jess. Can you make that out?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Let that dry.
That's cool. The next one is for Paul, and he would just like your autograph, please.
On the ECW one?
Yeah. So we're just going to go through these one at a time.
Yeah.
So he would just like your autograph on that one, please.
And that's Paul.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Give a thumbs up if you can.
Yeah, we're good. All good. The next one is for Sarah, and she would like to Sarah.
And that's the ECW one, correct? All these are
photo number 1.
Okay.
SARAH.
Okay. And just sign it, or I could put whatever on.
ECW champion, and then your autograph, please. Thank you. We've got loads of questions coming in, Dan, so we'll go over to you in just a moment, mate. We'll get these ones done out of the way, and then we'll go to you.
With ECW champ.
That's awesome. That is awesome. The next one is for Grace, and she would like to Grace, and then just your autograph, please.
To Grace, Grace.
That's correct, yes.
Oh, let me show Grace.
Awesome.
There you go, Greg.
Perfect.
Screenshot that one.
And then the next one is for Dan, and he would like to Dan, Dan. And again, he would like ECW champion, and then your autograph, please.
Dan. There you go, Dan.
That's awesome. Thank you. The next one is for Jess, but she doesn't want this one personalized. She just wants War Machine Rhyno.
War Machine Rhyno? Okay.
Yeah. So not personalized, just War Machine Rhyno.
There you go. War Machine Rhyno.
That's awesome. Thank you. The next one is for John, and it's Jon.
Jon?
That's correct, yeah. And he would like ECW champ Rhyno, please.
John, you said?
Jon.
Jon.
Yeah. He spells it different to everyone else.
Yeah. ECW champ?
Please. Thank you.
There you go, John.
Great. And then the last one is for Chris, and Chris would like to Chris, ECW champ Rhyno.
DHRIS?
Yes.
ECW champ?
Please.
In Canada, they spell Chris with a K, believe it or not.
We had a wrestler over here, the late Chris Travis, and he spelled his KRIS.
Yeah. I always make sure because I don't want to fuck up. So. I'll tell you a quick story. So we have this thing called the Autorama, classic cars in Detroit. So every year, I mean, this thing has been going on for 50, 60 years. And, they'll take classic cars, they'll beef them up, whatever. I mean, there's $1 million cars. People put a lot of money into them. So anyways, and they have the Bud Girls. And I mean, this is promotional stuff. I mean, everything. So beautiful women, right? So I go up and I get this. It's a free autograph, right, from this lady. She's signing, and maybe one of the Bud Girls, I forget exactly, but she had a poster, right? And all this was promotional. And she goes, "What's your name?" And I think I'm 15 at the time. I was a junior in high school. Had a Detroit Tigers hat on, and anyways, my varsity jacket. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm crazy great with memories. So it was I was a sophomore. So it was in March of '91. So I walk up there and I go, my name's Terry. She asked me my name. She spelled it Peri. That's the way a girl spelled.
Yeah.
So I'm just amazed. I'm just focusing on her beauty, and I'm walking away. And then I open the poster up. I'm thinking this is going to look great on my wall. All my friends, I'll be like, like way cool. Like, oh, I met her. And I seen how she spelled it with an I, and I'm like, fuck, I can't keep this. Like my friends will overlook her beauty and the fact that I met her and make fun of me because, she spelled my name like a girl. So they're the girls. So I had to fucking throw it out, man. So
oh no,
that's why I ask everybody, the spelling of their name. So I'd hate to get it wrong, but.
Yeah. Did you ever see that girl again anywhere?
No, but I still love her. We all make mistakes. I didn't want to go up and ask for another one. You know what I mean? So her beauty is burnt into my memory, and that's it. I have no poster to look at.
Unconditional love, Dan?
Right.
Right, we're going to go into a couple of questions, and then we'll head over to the next set of pictures, okay, which is the Impact one with your arms up in the air. So we'll do them in a moment. Dan,
so first question from Stu. Hey, Rhyno, hope you're recovering well. What happened to the ECW title that Matt Cardona threw away, and was it the real one? And if so, do you still have it?
No, actually, Conrad has the original title, and then what was part of the question? My phone was ringing.
So hope you're recovering well. ECW title Matt Cardona threw away. Was it the real one? And if so, do you have it?
Oh no, the ECW television title. No, that was a prop. I don't know. That was a replica anybody could buy. It was one of those real thin ones. The ECW TV title, that was actually stolen out of the locker room right before the company went under business. Or went out of business. Sandman needed it because he forgot the heavyweight title. So he goes, oh, can I use that when I go out? And I'll just kind of turn it around and fold it backwards. Hopefully nobody notices and they won't pick it up on TV, whatever. It might have been a live event. And then Cyrus, I was Don Callis, I was rooming with him, and he said he'll bring it back. So because we were rooming together, and I go, where's the title? Or he goes, it was stolen out of the locker room, and yeah, that was that. So, and they never got one to replace it because the company went out of business shortly after that.
Did they ever find out who had stolen it?
Or? No. Yeah, it's just one of those things when a lot of people are coming through that locker room, and you don't know, So it was in Queens, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So somewhere out there, Dan. We'll have to go looking for it, eh?
Right.
Next question is from John. Rhyno, what was your favorite WWE match? John's was you versus Rhyno in Backlash 2001. Any memories?
Versus Raven. Yeah, it was. I mean, we were just shooting the shit forever, and we really didn't. It was like, we should think about what we're gonna do, and it was just all day, and we were screwing around more than really anything, and we went out there and we've wrestled several times, and just a lot of magic, that day. So Vince came up to us and said, that match really helped save the pay-per-view. So actually, I'm sorry, and one of the agents, producers, came up to us, and in the meeting, Vince said that match really helped out the pay-per-view because on paper the pay-per-view looked great, but it wasn't one of those pay-per-views where you're like, oh, we hit a home run. On paper it looked like it was going to hit a home run, but it just it wasn't. It didn't live up to what it was supposed to. So.
Yeah. Good question, John.
Next one from Adam. Who was your favorite person to work with in ECW or WWE?
Sandman, Sabu. Sabu definitely first. Sandman. Raven was okay. Dreamer was fun, but I worked with Sabu more. Jerry Lynn, I always loved wrestling Jerry Lynn. Even Rob Van Dam. So, but Mike Awesome and we wrestled quite a bit after he became heavyweight champion. So, well, when he came right in, he became heavyweight champion, and so.
Yeah. What was it like working Mike Awesome?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We traveled together too. So, yeah. So, yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Mike.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you a quick story. The first road trip we were supposed to be on, I'm not feeling good. Like flu symptoms coming over, and just if anybody felt sick like that, it wasn't the flu. I know that. But you're just sick. Last thing you want to do is get on a plane. Last thing you want to do is get to an airport. I only had $20 in my pocket because I was still working at the gym. And I didn't have a credit card. And I think I was only 22 at the time, or 23. So you really couldn't rent a car, or it was really, really expensive because you have to be over 25. And then, and so, because I couldn't get a credit card. It's not that I didn't have a job or I didn't pay any of my bills or I didn't flake off on any bills. You don't have credit, and then here in the States, it's like, if you don't have credit, you can't get a credit card. Well, how am I supposed to get credit if I don't have? Then the credit card companies, they go, well, give us $1,000 and we'll give you $1,000 limit. It's like, well, I wouldn't need a credit card if I had $1,000. Like, what the fuck, So, anyways, I understand they want to, give me at least a $200 limit and we'll go from there. Let's work with me. I have no outstanding debt. You can see I paid bills, whatever is in my name. So anyways, long story short, I'm at Logan Airport and Pee Wee goes, hey, we're not coming in, travel with Mike Awesome. So I only have $20 in my pocket and I'm calling him and he's got a cell phone. I don't. So I walk in Logan Airport. I call him. It's like, yeah, I'm pulling around, and I'm wait. He doesn't come around. I'm like, hey, I'm at Northwest. He's like, yeah, I pulled through. Did you see me? I go, no. So I go back out. He pulls through again. I don't see him. I go back. He's like, I pulled through. I'm literally in front of the door. So I go out and I can't see him. I come back in. I go, I don't see him. He goes, what airport are you at? I go, I'm at Logan Airport in Boston. He goes, oh, I'm in Providence, Rhode Island, because they're, you either flew into Logan or flew, and I thought he was flying into Logan. And so anyways, he would have had to come back up and then back, and then the traffic at the time. So I ended up getting a bus to the town, and it was a smaller town. And thank God the bus stop was literally, like a few blocks away from the building. Ended up going there, wrestling in the last match, I think, or it was the match before intermission. It started out in the big smalls. It started out with Sabu and I, and then big smalls. And then it was nice because like Francine had some like Tylenol and gave me that, and then a couple of people kind of helped me out. And I was still kind of new there. I was about 6 to 8 months in, So and then after I wrestled, I felt great. So, but yeah, that's my Mike Awesome story. That's what it was. Sabu and Pee Wee were coming in from a different town. They go, Mike will pick you up and bring you to the building, and then we'll meet up there. That's what it was. Yeah. So, and that was the same night where, you'll probably hear the story, but Tommy Dreamer, we fighting the people, and it was an auditorium, an armory, and that nice building, great crowd, and then. Like there's this rope where you climb. So Raven runs and you got to grab lower. So he runs and then, and Dreamer's holding Rhyno. And then he runs and then he kicks Rhyno, right? He swings from this thing, comes around. Looks awesome, right? So Dreamer's like, I'll do it. So what Dreamer fails to realize is you got to grab lower and leave some slack. because if not, you're just gonna go whoop whoop, you know. So you got to run up, and so Dreamer doesn't even go far, right? It's just like Rhyno and them, they're right here, and Raven's holding Rhyno now, and he runs, and then he's like boop boop. So he tries it again, but he thinks he's got to get a bigger run. So he's running down the bleachers thinking he'll come around and boomerang, but he comes, and Raven's just laughing his ass off. People are, I don't know if people were chanting "you fucked up" to Dreamer. So Dreamer kind of runs real fast, and then he kind of boomerangs, and then he does like a karate kick and barely touches Rhyno. And it was funny as hell. That was that night. So, but I'm watching all this stuff, you know, unfold. Yeah, and I'm trying not to laugh, you know. So, but anyway, yeah.
Can't help it. Dan, we're going to go on to the next set of the next set of photos. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one, that's the one. You got it. So we've got the first one is for Sarah. That's Sarah.
What do you want me to sign it in?
I don't mind. There's a black Sharpie there. That might work.
Yeah, the black one will show up the best.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem.
To Sarah?
Yes, please.
With an H?
Yes, please. And then she just wants War Machine and then Rhyno, please.
There you go, Sarah.
That's perfect. Perfect. The next one is for Dan, and he would like the same as well. So,
let me pick some of these up.
That's cool.
I like to let them dry.
Yeah, no worries. The Sharpie should instantly dry. It's when we use paint pens it all goes.
I still like to let them dry.
That's cool.
I'm a professional.
That's absolutely fine.
All right. What's the next one?
So the next one is to Dan, and then
Dan?
Yeah, DAN, and then again the War Machine Rhyno, please.
There you go, Dan.
Brilliant. Thank you. The next one is to Kev, and he would like two Kev, and then War Machine Rhyno.
Kev, Kev?
Yes, sir. That's perfect. Thank you. The next one is to Stu, and that's STU. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
And then Stu?
Yeah, STU. And he would like War Machine Rhyno, please.
STU.
Yes, sir.
War Machine Rhyno?
Please.
Just so you know, in this picture is when I was working with Hernandez and we were fighting over the money. So, I forgot to sign it, Stu.
It's all right.
But if you notice in this one, in my hand, I've got money rolled up.
Yeah.
And then the ref was handing me money too. So the ref was handing me money for something else. Drugs. Like, don't pay me now. Pay me in the locker room, man.
Come on, backhand jumps. Come on. And the next one is for Sam. He doesn't want it personalized. He would just like your autograph, please.
Okay. There you go.
That's
and
great.
who is that for?
That's for Sam.
Sam?
Sam. Sam.
Oh, Sam. There you
Yeah.
go, Sam.
That's great. And then the next one is for Neil. And again, he doesn't want it personalized. He would just like War Machine, Rhyno. And that is the pre-sale done for those ones.
There you go. And who is that, Neil?
That's for Neil, yeah.
All right, there you go, Neil.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. We'll go on to the next one as well, because we've only got 5 on this one. So we'll do those quickly, then we'll get a few questions in. Okay.
What's the next one?
It's the TNA early one. It's the one with the big logo on the front of your singlets.
Oh, I never received that one. I'm just kidding.
Don't, because that's the one I couldn't find when I was trying to send it to you. It's genuinely the one that I couldn't find. And I literally flipped this office upside down to find it, and it was under my laptop.
I'm going to go with this one. This will really pop.
Yeah, let's go for it. So that's fine. So the next one is for Jess, and she would just like 2 Jess and then your autograph.
Okay, 2 Jess.
Please.
JESS?
Correct, so yeah.
There you go, Jess.
That's perfect.
There you go, that pops.
That's wicked. The next one is for Neil, and he would like 2 Neil and then just your autograph, please.
Say that again.
2 Neil, Neil, and then just your autograph.
Neil. There you go, Neil.
That's perfect. Thank you. The next one is for Dan. He would just like.
Let's want to organize everything.
That's
to Dan.
No, he would just like War Machine, Rhyno on that one.
Okay. There you go.
That's perfect. And that is it for that one. That is it for that one. So we'll do a couple more questions.
We had, 3 or 5 of these. How many did you have on this?
I've got 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 4, so there should be 6.
No, there's only 3. We did Jess, Neil, War Machine.
Oh, sorry, 4 then, Kev. Kev Benny. So Kev would like 2 Kev and then just your autograph.
Okay.
That's right. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just making sure we get everything.
Yeah.
2 Kev and then my autograph.
Please. Thank you.
Dan, where'd you find this guy? We need professionals, right?
Oh, no.
I would have been fucking pissed off.
Wow.
I'm looking out for you, Kev. I'm looking out for you.
Okay, now. If you see the amount of work that Dan does, it's literally
I know.
0.
I'm just kidding. So, no, I'm saying, where did we find you?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you missed Kev. No,
I know.
I'm putting Dan over.
I've got my list here.
Ah, that's all right. Jeez.
My
Dan,
professional handwritten list.
Okay, that one was Kev.
Yeah, please.
And then just a signature.
Please. Thank you.
All right, there you go, Kev.
That's
there it is, Kev.
That's perfect. Thank you. Right then. Big Dan, time for you to do some work now, big boy.
So, question from JJ. So, when you returned to the independent scene in 2019, what was one of the things that you took away from working with WWE, ECW, TNA?
Obviously I was 23 years into the wrestling business, and almost 24 years in the wrestling business. And, you're going at it more as you're there to help the guys and girls, get better. And, you're trying to help find that next John Cena, you know, next Becky Lynch, you know, next Steve Austin, Rock, next Seth Rollins, Miz, and all that stuff, you know. So help try to find them and help give them advice and inside the ring and outside the ring. So I think that's just as important as giving them advice for inside the ring, you know. And now in today's world, it's a lot different than, you know, because you have your social media and you try to build your brand and all that. And I'm not one to, hey, you know, this is how you build your brand on social media. It's, hey, watch what you fucking say on social media, you know.
Yeah.
It's sad, but, you know, a lot of companies, if you misspeak or something, they don't care. They'll get rid of you, you know, and they've got money and time invested into you. So it sucks for the business and the company because they're it's kind of like they're almost forced to give up on their investment. And some stuff may be, you know, not as serious as other things, you know, and things that aren't so serious, it's like they're losing out on a lot of money, you know. So, and you are too. So I try to tell them, like, you know, you don't have to post everything, you know, post about wrestling and try to post about, you know, the angle and try to be creative where you can, you know, make sense and further the angle, you know.
Have you ever seen that where you've offered advice and they've gone the complete opposite to what you've advised them on?
I always tell people that, you know, I'm going to give you advice. I might tell you 10 things and one might work for you. And I always tell them, don't feel obligated like you have to take my advice. You know, listen to everything you can possibly listen to and figure out what works for you, because you're the only one that knows what will work for you. But sometimes, like, I have a wrestling promotion here in Monroe, Michigan, my buddy and I, and these kids are young and now that's a different story because we own that. We don't, twice a month we'll go and we'll book the card and we'll take money out of the account to buy our meals, but we don't take any pay or nothing. And then we'll go over the card. So we buy ourselves dinner twice before every show. So these two kids, they're students, and here's a plug for a buddy of mine, Crimson, not the Crimson for Impact, but he's got a wrestling school, Skull and Bones. It's a really good school, a lot of good students. So these kids, you know, they show up, they help set up and all that, and they're ready for an opportunity. And I ask Crimson, I go, are they ready for a tag match? And they're brothers, Saint brothers. And he goes, yeah, they're ready. So I told him, I go, I want you guys to come out to what is it? Jump. Not Cypress Hill. I'm drawing a blank. It's, oh shit. Anyways, it's certain music. And they weren't really sold on it. I go, listen, I go, work with me on this. You know, I go, I know it'll be, you know, it's the right thing. House of Pain, Jump.
Okay.
You guys know, yeah. So anyway, I go, just come out. I go, I kind of see you guys got that Public Enemy vibe, ECW, because that's what we're trying to go for, ECW feel. You know, let's invest in money on the talent, and then, you know, and let's have a great show, and let's not spend all this money on a video board and all this crap that, you know, we're gonna in-ring, you know. And anyways, they weren't really sold. I'm like, I'll walk through it with you. I go, trust me, it'll work, right? So sure as shit, it does. And they're on every independent show, you know, using this music, and I want them to, right? and the crowds react in the same way. At least I'd say about 40% get up and jump and stuff like that. And some shows a little bit more, on indies, but I'd say about 50 to 60% of our crowd. And then Wisconsin football, college football, they play that song and the whole stadium jumps, which I seen that. And that's why I'm like, okay, that's the music. I think that'll fit. They got a Public Enemy feel. And then I have them sometimes carry out a table, not on their entrance, because I don't want a complete rip off of Public Enemy.
Yeah.
But what was old can be new again. And a lot of stuff that was done had already been done before. So, and I told them, I go, in the main event, I go, we're not going to play your music here. We're going to get it on the end. Because, it's like we try to book the show where it's like, okay, in ECW, a lot of times good booking, and I'm not saying I book great or my buddy books great, but they didn't get it in the beginning and people like that song, because they were in like a 6-man tag or something. But at the end, I had them bring out a table, and then we played the song then for the people. So it's kind of like making them wait till the end, kind of like Steve Austin when he was hot. The truck you'd see the truck in the parking lot. Oh, Austin's here, and then you'd see people laying. It's like, oh my God, Austin must have did that. And then at the end, his music hits and here he comes and everybody loses their shit. Yeah. Now it seems like, okay, well, our top guy or the guy we're pushing the most, we got to have him out in the beginning for 5-10 minutes. We got to have him halfway through the show for another 10 minutes. Then he's got a main event. It's like you're overexposing, Yeah. So, but, and I told him, I go, bring out a table and I'll tell you, I feel sorry, or I want to apologize to my apologies to every promoter, whether it was WWE, ECW, indie promoters, that I've ever broken a table, because those fucking things aren't cheap. I don't know how much they cost over there, but they're like $200 over here.
Yeah,
so
they're a fair bit over here.
Yeah, so right now I'm still gonna break tables, but I'd like to offer an apology. So fans, don't think I'm not gonna break tables, because every time, and we get them for about $100 used, but every single time it's just like, well, there's another $100. Sometimes guys will go through like 3 or 4 tables, and it's like, shit, there goes our profit for this show. You're like, you almost want to go out there, quit breaking fucking tables, quit fucking breaking tables. But you just let it happen, and that's that, and then hopefully you can cover all the tables for that night.
Fingers crossed, eh? We're going to move on to the tag shot, because we've got about 20 minutes left. So
the what?
The tag shot with yourself and Heath.
Okay.
So we'll do the pre-sales for that one as well. Again, guys, if you want to buy any side autographs, the link is in the bottom. So get involved in that if you haven't already done so. And if you have already done so, thank you so much, because this has been almost a sellout. So thank you so much.
Chris, just to add to the list, John Morley would like one with gore, please.
Which one?
Oh, we'll do that one at the end. Then that's at the bottom. That's the last one. So that's fine, John. That's cool. We'll do that one at the end for you, mate. No worries. So this is the tag shot. This is with obviously yourself and Heath Slater. The first one is to Kev, and he would like to Kev. That's the one. And then your signature, please.
I don't know which will look. Well, you know what? I'll have to sign on me. I think we'll go with the copper. To Kev?
Yes, please.
And then the signature?
Please.
There you go, Kev.
That's great. Thank you. The next one is to Stu, and that's STU.
Okay.
And he would just like your autograph on that one, please.
Oh, he doesn't want his name?
If you've already put it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
There you go, Stu.
That's perfect. Next one is Paul, and he would like to Paul, and then Rhyno. We are seeing all of your comments, guys. So don't worry.
There you go, Paul.
That's awesome. Thank you. The next one is for Sam, but he just wants your autograph, please. So no personalization, just your autograph, please.
There you go, Sam.
That's great. Next one is for Kurt, but he doesn't want the personalization. He just wants War Machine Rhyno, please.
Okay. There you go, War Machine Rhyno.
That's awesome. Thank you. And the last one is for Gemma. She doesn't want the personalization. She would like first SmackDown Tag Champ Rhyno,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. And that is it for those ones.
First SmackDown Tag Champs Rhyno.
Please.
Right.
Thank you very much. Oh. So, guys, we've got about 15 minutes left. We've still got the last photo to get signed. So we'll do those now, and then we'll just finish off with the comments and the questions. Okay,
There
guys?
you go. First, I don't know if you can see all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much for that. And then we'll finish off with the last photo, if that's okay, Rhyno.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go through the pre-sales on that.
I'm gonna there's one more. I'm gonna yeah. All right. No, I'm good. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
No, that's
I was
cool.
thinking
No,
up
absolutely fine. That's cool. So we're on to the last one, which is the Gore picture. So the first one is for Kev. He doesn't want it personalized. He would just like Gore and then Rhyno, please.
Okay. Gore, Rhyno,
Yeah.
or Gore,
Please.
Gore?
Whichever's best for you. We don't like to take the
I think Gore, Gore.
If you're okay with that, then that's fantastic. Thank you. We don't like to take the piss with inscriptions, so we just do the basics. Because sometimes when you watch live signings, people ask for an essay, and I think it's too much.
There it is.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for that one. Big Dan, did John say what he wanted on the picture?
He did Gore. Can I get another Rhyno picture with Gore personalized, please?
So it's to John, Jon.
On this one?
Yes, please.
Okay, to John.
Yeah, Jon, and then Gore, and then your autograph.
You know what's great is like I'll go places and stuff. To John, Gore. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's wicked.
So like when my girlfriend to a baby shower, and I guess you got to put in FaceTime at these things, even though the it's her people she works with, and then their parents own the real estate company. And it was, long story short, I met the parents, and great people, fun, we're like get along with them, right? And then one of their good clients, he buys homes and rents them or fixes them up and stuff. He's an older guy too, and so long story short, so I just like hanging out with these guys. So she's like, oh, baby shower, you want to go with me? And I'm like, you got to put in FaceTime and stuff like that. But I'm like, I get to hang out with these guys. So I go there, and the one brother-in-law or something calls his buddy, and he's like, "Hey, man, there's this wrestler here, Rhyno." And then he asked me, he goes, "What's your name?" He goes, and then he, told him that. His buddy just starts yelling, "Gore, gore," like to him when he mentioned it. And that happens so often. People say, yeah, like they don't watch wrestling. They'll ask me their name, and they know a buddy that watched wrestling. And that's the first thing they say. They yell. So they don't know what the fuck's going on, right? They're just like, "Hey, do you know this wrestler?" And then all of a sudden they just yell Gore 3 times, because of Paul Heyman got that over, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, and I find it funny because they don't know what's going on. They don't hear "Oh yeah, I know him," or "Oh this," or "Oh that." They just, and they'll come to me and they go, "Yeah, they just started yelling something, your catch or your move or your catchphrase or something." I go, "Was it Gore, Gore, Gore?" They go, "Yeah." They just started yelling that. I love this thing. What's that?
Wicked. That's wicked.
Yeah. Wrestling fans are some of the most creative people out there. You gotta love them.
Absolutely.
We had John. John was our last one.
Yeah. So the next one is for Jess. She would like 2 Jess and Gore, 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 if you're okay with that, and then just your signature.
JESS.
Yeah. That's perfect. And then the last one in the pre-sale is to Paul, and he doesn't want it personalized. He would just like Gore, 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 Rhyno, and that is all pre-sales done. And I want to share a story with you, Rhyno, as well. Now, whether you probably a highlight of my time in Germany. That's perfect. Thank you so much for that. So we were both on a show in Germany for GHW 2017. It was you versus Sabu. It was a hardcore match. You guys were the main event in Germany.
I was with Joe Legend.
Yeah.
I drove down with Joe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you were on with Sabu.
Yes. And the building, I remember it was a smaller building, but they had pillars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not like designer pillars or anything. No, yeah.
Old building. So we did
it was about 2 hours south of Hanover, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And
I think so. But yeah.
They did a wrestlers parade at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
And we all obviously paraded around the ring. Obviously, yourself and Sabu were the last ones out, obviously, as the headline. And we all stood in the ring. And the idea was they called our names. We went into the middle of the ring and we did a taunt, right? However, it was my first time in this company working for them. And I didn't have a taunt. I didn't have a taunt at all. So I kind of stood in the middle and just kind of gave a thumbs up. And the place went dead. And I mean, crickets. And the only 2 people that were clapping were yourself and Sabu. And you stood in opposite corners because obviously you were wrestling each other later on in the evening. And you both stood there and you clapped. And I have never been able to tell you how much I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell Sabu the same story when we have him in August. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because you imagine just wanting the floor to, kind of suck you up. And without you clapping, it'd been fucking nightmare.
I'd always clap and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't take stuff like that personal, No,
not at all.
But there's a lot of times where, when, I've stunk up the joint. I'm not saying you stunk up the joint. It's a parade. And unless they know you, it's a little hard, on parades. The good thing about the parades, like with Auto, is because you were there so many nights. So they got used to you, and some of the parades were cool. And it's sad that they don't do that anymore. Like before I went over there, like they go, "Oh yeah, there's a parade before the show." And I'm thinking, like a parade, going down the street. And I'm like, every night a damn parade. Like, no, in the ring. I'm like, how the hell do you do a parade in the ring? And then they kind of explain it to you and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Why don't they just call it like, all right, everybody go to the ring now?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that, because that's a
Oh,
memory
no,
I always
anytime.
have. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, anytime.
No worries. We've got about 5 minutes left, guys. So if you want to drop your questions, please, if you can, that will be great. We've got loads. Dan.
One from John here. Any favourite memories from your time in ECW?
A lot of great memories. I learned a lot from Sabu. Just traveling with him and stuff, what to do, what not to do. Just stuff like that. In the ring. Learned a lot from Pee Wee. Really enjoyed wrestling Sandman too, along with Sabu. Not really. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff happened, but we're usually, next town, grab some food and, next town and work, get up, work out, and work. And so.
Fair play. Fair play.
Next one from John. Do you ever wish more was done with your alliance with Edge and Christian?
Yes and no, but I kind of went my own way with the alliance, and then, because that was all thrown together, and then, so that, and then I got hurt, and then, in November 2nd, 2001, I had a cervical fusion. So, yeah. And then I was off for a little over a year. And then when I came back, Ed was going in for he was going in for neck surgery. So, yeah.
The next question is from Kev. Hey, Rhyno, thank you for entertaining us over the years and for your time tonight. What was it like for you to make a switch from WWF back in 2001 at such a huge time in the wrestling business?
It just seemed natural. I think I was 25 or 26 at the time. So it was just it's just one of those things where it just, it was real natural. So.
And then the next one, John, who came up with the Paul Heyman screaming gore? Did you have any involvement in commentary during the WWE? So
no, that was him. A lot of things just happened organically, back then. And now too, like the cheese and crackers. That just with Heath. I know we filmed something in the trailer park, and they were just there, and I was just, the funny thing about it is I never eat cheese and crackers.
Really?
Yeah, when you have an upset stomach, they say eat crackers,
Yeah.
And I'd never eat crackers then, but never really liked crackers. Never, when you're dieting and stuff, it's usually protein, carbs, or like baked sweet potatoes, or rice, not a lot, or oatmeal in the morning, but never anything with crackers. So I never really got into crackers and the cheese whiz. And so every time we started doing promos, so I was at the grocery store one time, and I'm in one of those checkout lanes. I'm just grabbing a couple things, and this is after this started,
Yeah.
And maybe after we won the titles or right before, and guy comes up and he's like, no cheese and crackers. And I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And it didn't, I didn't put two and two together. And I'm thinking maybe I just know him from the street or something. Maybe he's a neighbor. I didn't associate him being a wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
Because he leans in and says that, and I'm like, pardon me? He's like, no cheese and crackers. I'm like, you got to explain this to me. He goes, cheese and crackers, wrestling, you and Heath Slater. I go, I wasn't even thinking. Yeah, I go. I didn't know you were a wrestling fan. I thought I knew you somewhere else, other than So, but anyways, yeah. So then that was, it was one of those things where we had a little fun with it.
Yeah, that's what you need, though, isn't it? It's always good.
You know what? To be honest with you, that thing in the trailer, Road Dogg came up to us and he said Vince was laughing his ass off, and they kind of just threw us together.
Yeah,
and there were no plans for us, to be honest with you. I don't even think there was plans for us to, go to the finals in the tag, but the fans just loved us together. I think they love him because he's someone you love, and he was doing that thing with not getting drafted, and and so they loved him even more because it's like we've all felt left out in some way, shape, or form, something, so whether it's at work or whether it's a family function or something, not getting that extra cheese and crackers catering, so I think they could relate to that, and they just love the fact that I was there, and we're two opposites, and I think that's why the fans really liked us. And I've had so many people, not a crazy amount of people, but so many people come up to me and say, you know what, you two got me back into wrestling when you guys tagged and became the tag champs. I've heard that quite a bit, and it's just one of those things where it clicked, and people still love us together, so.
That's awesome. What a great way to finish off the live, guys. Rhyno, I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
Oh no, thank you.
I think we could talk for another few hours coming down.
Yeah, a lot of people in the questions are saying you need your own podcast.
I do, but it was just more or less to promote our stuff, and because I have a marina here in Monroe, Michigan, and I'm always doing that. Plus, I've got a full time, with Impact, TV, and then a full time with the Indies, and then we've got our wrestling promotion. So we're trying to do more shows a year, but we only, can fit, every 6 weeks because my buddy's got a full time job at Ford's. So, it's just a lot of stuff promoting too, those shows. So
busy.
Yeah.
Always.
We kind of don't get to our podcast.
You need to do it. You need to do one. Yeah, the fans have spoken.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
If you've got any social media stuff you'd like to plug, please do.
You know what? The only thing I could really plug is I don't really do social media that much. But if you, I do have a Rhyno page on Facebook, and then our wrestling, it's IWR, Insane Wrestling Revolution. It's in Monroe, Michigan. There's a bunch of platforms you can look it up. So, but yeah, we do put matches out there on YouTube and stuff, and it's a cool promotion. So
awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for your time. It's been fantastic. Big Dan, anything from you?
No, just thank you very much for your time tonight. It's been very enjoyable.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers. Take care.